Nick's in there.
What's up?
What's up, guys?
Connect.
Back.
We back at it.
BitConnect.
BitConnect. Exactly.
We back at it in the virtual online studio.
The best studio.
With,
We've been in like 3 different studios for the last
we have
3
been.
episodes.
We've been jumping around.
Yep.
You
Pretty
can't
impressive
keep the
stuff,
critters
guys.
down. Yeah.
Exactly.
We are
They're trying to
joined
suppress us, but they can't.
once again by the illustrious David.
The legendary.
The legendary.
Thank you, guys. It's really an apt description of me, so thanks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's an honor to have you back.
Here. Oh, glad to be here. Maybe not for this film, though, I'll be honest.
You're not a 14th century Russian. You didn't study that in school?
I'm not super knowledgeable about that, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
this is my introduction into that time period, really. Yeah.
Well, we were really hoping you would be able to carry this pod.
Oh, shit. Sorry, guys.
We're really hoping you understood the nuances of medieval Russian painters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lost on me.
Ethan, you're supposed to be the guy who knows all the stuff about Tarkovsky and religion, right? So I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
Jesus Christ.
Real nuanced takes.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I'll get back to you. So yeah, we're back at it. We recorded a wonderful pod yesterday. One of the best to ever do it.
Okay, yeah, I gotta check it out. Which one is it?
Our Nanook of the North episode. We were joined by our wonderful professor, Dr. Catherine Pallister.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
I was
awesome.
editing it last night, and I was just listening to Ethan and I's conversation with her. It's mostly just yeah.
Yeah.
It's like her doing a lecture and us just.
It's great.
That's awesome.
She knows her shit very well. She wrote a PhD on Nanook back in the day.
Wow.
In her college time, so I think it's a pretty good discussion, pretty nuanced discussion about just documentaries, what is real, and subjectivity in cinema.
She said she's going to listen to the pod, so.
Oh, that's awesome. Hopefully not this episode, but
hopefully not a few episodes.
There are a few off the
rails.
rails.
I'll be sure to check that out. I mean, Nanook of the North is like one of the first really documentaries to get popping, so
yeah,
absolutely.
I have to watch that, and then I'll look for some analysis on your channel. Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah,
mostly from the professor, but
that's okay.
Entirely from the professor.
Our and exactly game is pretty fire.
It's strong. That's why we're good students, just constantly.
Exactly.
You guys are yes men.
Absolutely.
Yes man.
Or yeah man. Yeah.
Yeah man. Yeah. Exactly. So David, you have entered the podcast realm, I've heard.
Yeah. I have. Yes.
Gonna plug that.
Sure. Yeah. It's all about plugs.
Our 26 subscribers they're on the edge of their seat.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be big. I mean, when our subscribers are 10 come over to your channel and your 20 come to ours, it's gonna be. I'll put you on the side.
I can't even imagine numbers that high.
Yeah, I know. Could be getting numbers like 30 if you can.
I'm shaking.
Reach that. Yeah,
I'm shaking.
Be
good.
Yeah, the podcast is the Pork and Bones podcast, and it's just on YouTube right now, and it's a video instead of just being an audio file.
Oh shit!
Whoa, big time!
Yeah. High production value. We have a production crew.
Damn.
Of 2 other people. Yeah,
that's crazy. We have Craig. So, that's something.
Yeah, you have Craig.
Production crew.
Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend is actually my ex-girlfriend actually runs our social media account. So
he does.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a fun dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we're just working on I was noticing we've only done 1 episode. We recorded our 2nd episode, but it's lot. It's really hard to come up with stuff to talk about that you think is interesting that might get an audience as well. It's hard to balance that, but you guys have just chosen like a way to do it where it's like you have to watch this next movie. You can't choose whether or not it's going to be something you like or not. You just have to do it. And I respect that, and kind of sympathize as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the form that we chose. Like, I'm watching so many movies I probably never would have watched.
Yeah, it's actually probably
I probably
the best
wouldn't have
thing.
Andrei Rublev, if it wasn't
best
for the
thing about the Critterpit, I feel, is just the conceit, the execution.
Yeah.
And then you guys do
lacking.
these great videos about contemporary movies, the special episodes. Those are pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay. Don't
Yeah.
have to hype us up too much.
no,
Yeah.
it's cool. I mean, coming on for that M episode really made me want to do more of that. So that's kind of one reason I was kind of like, hey man, we should start a podcast, which is a
Damn.
conversation about everyone my age is having. Or
Yep.
Yeah.
something. But yeah, you
I
saying
like-
you weren't gonna watch this movie if it weren't for the podcast.
I
That's
probably wouldn't
surprising
have
to me.
finished it. You know, I would have started it and been like, gotten an hour and a half through, and like,
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember wanting to watch this movie like a year and a half ago on like break, and I was like, okay, like me and my friend Alex, who's on the other podcast that we're doing. I was like, man, we really got to watch this this movie. It's going to be like amazing. It's going to tell me all this stuff I want to know about art. It's from Tarkovsky, and
Yeah.
the 3 hours of slow cinema were kind of daunting. So I never got around to it until
yeah.
this podcast.
It's a
and
full 3 hours.
I
It was a
think
Very
this
last
was
full
minute
3
thing.
hours.
the first
Yeah.
movie Ethan ever lent me as well. It's I've been
Yeah.
You own it?
Yeah, I've owned this Criterion for 3 years now.
Damn.
I've just watched it now, which
Wow.
speaks to the monumentality of this movie, just kind of the hurdle it is.
Yeah.
I've tried watching it before many times, and I've just passed out every time, which is an experience I've had with like every Tarkovsky I've watched. And
Mhm.
I love Tarkovsky, but like you really have to be in the right mindset and space for it. And
He's also just so much smarter than me. Like,
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Not me though. So I can help
that's why we got
explain.
you
Yeah.
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found this movie a lot harder to watch than the other two that I've seen, which are Stalker
Oh
and
yeah.
Solaris. I'm not a religious guy, and I don't know a lot
Yeah.
about the time period. And so those moments of meditation, that he gives you by his slow pacing and some of his kind of atmospheric shots or whatever, I didn't really have the
Mm.
same level of like thinking about what it all means. I wasn't able to piece it together as much as those
Yeah.
other movies. Personally, that's one
I
thing.
think of what I've seen, this is definitely one of the lesser palatable Tarkovsky films. Like I think Stalker and Solaris and Ivan's Childhood are much more gripping in just their
And even
content and
Mirror.
form. I haven't
Yeah.
seen
Oh,
Mirror
yeah. I've
yet.
seen
Crazy
Mirror. Yeah.
form.
Sorry, I've seen that too. It's better as well. I mean, not
Yeah.
better. I enjoyed it more. I don't know if this movie is pretty cool. It's just
Mirror's
again, it might
funny
be
as
a
well.
viewer problem.
Yeah.
Mirror
I
is
think
funny as well.
the thing I found most interesting about this movie was reading through the Wikipedia page. 'Cause I was
I got the Wikipedia page open on my other screen right now.
I do too.
I just love what how he describes his interlocking of faith and artistic expression.
Mm.
If you don't mind, I'm going to read off this long little
Well,
statement he
just
says.
pretend like you're coming up with it. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Ethan,
So
tell me
I have
about what religion means in this film and Tarkovsky's view on religion. Can
Yeah,
you tell
so
me a
this
little
is
bit about
kind
that?
of what I wrote about in my thesis on this film. It's just it is a mistake to talk about the artist looking for his subject. In fact, the subject grows within him like a fruit and demands expression. It is like childbirth. The poet has nothing to be proud of. He's not a master of the situation, but a servant. Creative work is his only possible form of existence, and his every work is like a deed he has no power to annul. For him to be aware that a sequence of such deeds is due and right, that lies in the very nature of things, he has to have faith in the idea, for only faith interlocks the system of images. And I think, yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, that was very good, Ethan.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
words
Yeah.
straight from my mouth.
You memorized that?
Yeah, it's my own
That
words.
was your
so,
little soliloquy in the episode. That was impressive, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful, right off the top of the noggin. And I think, that's Tarkovsky right there.
Mhm.
It's
I
like he's
concur.
very, very spiritual within how he makes films. Like it's less of an
Mhm.
act of just it's like not even an act of like profit or monetary for him. It's just something he has to do, which I love the way he spiritually puts artistic expression. Like I don't feel it necessarily 100% because I'm not a very spiritual person, but like I tap into some things he says. How about like you have to have that faith for a film to come together, right? And that's
Yeah.
Oh,
something
yeah.
like our professors have even talked about how like the director, his job is to really have this vision and have the
Yeah.
faith in the project and inspire such a big crew of
Totally.
people to come together to
And
make something.
I know even from, like, our own experience, Ethan, when the director, even on a small shoot, doesn't have that
Yeah,
vision, it all falls
falls
apart so
apart,
quickly.
falls apart hard.
And
It's
for Tarkovsky to make this movie, especially in 1966 in Russia,
yeah.
when, not a lot of religious movies that weren't critical of religion were coming out,
Mhm.
Mhm.
just it
And
shows how important this story was to him that he, like,
Is
really
that off
thought.
the censorship, subtopic? Or no, I'm just kidding.
it is
No,
a
that was
really
from
int
the Tarkovsky for Dummies video that I watched.
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah. I think
that's a good
censorship
point.
from the parts of this movie I was awake for is, like, such an important through line in the movie, and it feels like, prescient almost because of how hard this movie was oppressed and censored after its release. It, yeah, it was cut up by the Soviets, those damn Reds.
Honestly,
Dude,
if they cut
I
it to be
think
shorter, I'd be okay with that.
me too.
Um,
Yeah, but you're
s
breaking Tarkovsky's spiritual heart, his artistic religion. You're
It's
He
true.
shattering
could have
him.
painted like Andrei, Rublev, I could look at it for, like, however long I want.
Yeah, that's true, forever,
Yep.
as
So, I don't
little
know
or
how
as
to
long
feel
as you
about
want.
this movie. Like, let's talk about broad strokes maybe of this movie. How do you feel about, like, its pacing, what it has to say, some of the story choices it makes? Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think for
Um,
me, I knew nothing about it going into it, and that was a mistake. I should have read the,
Mhm,
like, synopsis before watching it.
yeah,
I was so confused. I watched the first hour and a half in one sitting, and then the last hour and a half in another sitting. And for the
mhm.
first hour and a half, I was like, I have no idea what's going on. There's so many characters, and I can't keep them straight. And then I read the whole synopsis, and it clicked a little bit more
yeah,
for me. I'm like,
Mm.
"Oh, I kind of get what's going on a little bit more. I do kind of like the 8 different, like, short stories.
hmm,
Yeah.
I didn't
I
feel
like
their
the
connections as much as
structure.
maybe I wanted to, but I don't know.
I
I
quite like
liked
the
it overall, but
structure. Um, I think it looks gorgeous, of course, that goes without saying. Those long takes are something special, and just the way Tarkovsky composes the frame, all the, like,
The mise
levels of
en
depth.
scene is amazing. I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely it gives you a view into what medieval Europe would be like, which is
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool. I really like that.
It nails that feel so well, like, I kept on thinking of, Seventh Seal the whole time watching this,
Mhm.
just 2 films that really nail that vibe. And this, I
Absolutely.
think, even clears Seventh Seal in just, production value in
I
that,
guess I agree with that, yeah. Yeah.
um like, the scene when they go to the is it like a little bar with the jester in there? 3 monks?
Mhm.
Beginning? Yeah.
Like, that scene was right. I was like, "Damn, I'm there."
I
Yeah.
really like that that scene comes back because when I first watched the movie, I'm like, "Okay, this scene's kinda just." I mean, it's nice looking at or whatever. It's interesting. I wasn't really sure what its purpose was in the movie until it comes
Oh,
back
okay.
at the end that the jester's gone to prison for 10 years because of one of these guys, one of the monks' impatience, basically,
Yeah.
or, yeah, rigidity or something like that. Yeah, there's real consequences to their actions, and you get to see that, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
oh, no, you go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna
What?
say I like a lot of the other. I think the short story form can suffer from being maybe a little bit like either confusing or a
Mhm.
bit. It kind of can undercut some emotional resonance sometimes, especially
Yeah.
when the scenes don't have Andrei Rublev in them or they barely have him in them. It
Yeah.
kind
Mhm.
of stops
That's what
becoming a
confused me
movie
as well.
about Andrei Rublev, which is okay. It's just it's not really like a it's bio a historical biopic kind of, but it's also something more.
Yeah. More
Yeah.
about the 14th century Russian vibes
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
I guess sin, the place of sin and religion, you know,
Um,
how you grapple with that.
I didn't read the synopsis going into it, but I did read Sam's review before I watched this, so I'm like, "Okay,
Okay, that's
I'm
perfect.
I'm not gonna be able to follow this. I was so sleepy already. I'm like, this is gonna be a tough one for me. I had a long night last night, so I'm
Okay.
like, okay, I'm not taking notes. I usually take thorough notes when I watch a movie for Critterpit. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna vibe with it. And I think going in with that like expectation helped me a good amount. I was just like, I wasn't trying to understand it. I was just letting it wash
Mhm.
over me. So
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed my experience, even though it was quite long. And I don't think it's meandering because it's Tarkovsky. It probably all means something, but like it definitely comes
Yeah.
across as meandering to a more of a disengaged viewing experience.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good point. I was saying that I watched like the last few minutes of it or whatever
Mhm.
on the rewatch. We'll just say that on 1.25 speed. Not a rewatch. I just rewatched those scenes, and it was much better in terms of like it felt not better. Sorry, it felt more like a modern movie in terms of pacing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of maybe that's the secret sauce, like the
That might be the secret
0.75
sauce.
speed direction. That's
Yeah.
what he's
Yeah,
kind of doing
Tarkovsky was
compared to what
predicting it.
most other movies are doing. It feels like. Um,
Yeah.
absolutely.
and it can be
Um,
enrapturing, but I think we
can
all
be.
kind of suffered from it just being a bit tiring and
I
maybe
feel
a
Yeah.
little
very
bit
distant
boring
from
sometimes.
our own experiences, like, in
Yeah.
Stalker,
Yeah, yeah.
I can connect with those characters a lot more. Andrei
Yeah, and
Rublev, I
I
don't
was
really
about
have
to
any connection to 14th century monks. It's hard.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Because like, Andrei Rublev, Solaris, I think they're much more gripping just because they have that, like, sci-fi atmosphere. They're more palatable to our
Mhm.
senses.
Yeah.
I also
Uh,
think again, like the fact that it's not a short series of short stories where the main character's not
yeah,
in them half the
definitely.
time really builds a typical kind of movie. It makes it more of a typical like those other movies are more typical, and that's easier
Mhm.
for us to stomach than something like this that has you see these new settings with different characters, and the other characters are really the main focus of a lot of the scenes.
Mhm.
Um, and that can be confusing, and it takes a lot of energy to figure out, okay, how does this fit into the whole movie, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's that guy's name, that kind of stuff. I know, like let's not dumb ourselves down too much. I think it's just like it's a reality of the movie, though. It's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely complex.
And on top of that, you have the dialogue, which is, like, just very philosophical, going through all these notions of the human experience and religion. So on top of trying to figure out the characters and the pacing and the plot, it's a lot to grapple with for 3 hours.
It
It's
is.
a it's a marathon.
And even, like, they're telling these, like, allegories of Christ and, like,
Yeah,
stories within stories, and you're like, "Oh, where am I?" Like, "What's
Yeah,
going on?"
yeah.
yeah, and the whole
Uh,
time I'm like, "What's a boyar or a skomorok?"
or a
I don't
tartar.
Yeah.
I don't know what these things
Um,
are.
I remember the boy. Actually, I do know a little bit about 15th century Russia. With I saw
Oh, yeah.
Ivan the Terrible, Part One,
Okay.
and he talks about the boyars who are like the upper class, like the aristocracy, basically. And that's all that I know about the boyars.
Yeah,
So
and I know the
there you go, guys.
skomorok. The
Hope that
skomoroks
helped.
That does help.
are, jesters, the skomoroks or whatever. Don't know how to pronounce it, but those are the jesters pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So that's nifty.
Okay. No, that was. I mean, yeah, we're learning. We learned stuff this movie. I think that was good. What else
Uh,
should we?
have we even talked about kinda what the plot of this movie is at all?
We've not.
I
Not
mean, not
really.
that there's really much of a plot, but just or it's hard to say.
Maybe maybe we should do that and then talk about our favorite parts of each scene. So
Yeah.
I have two scenes that I really liked. Actually, three that I really liked. And I start with the beginning, which is the first story is kind of shorter, but it's like a group of people. I don't. It's been a while, but it's
The hot
it's a
air
group of
balloon one?
people. Sorry.
With the hot air balloon at the
Yeah,
beginning?
with a hot air balloon, they have it tied up against like a castle wall or something, and some guys rigged up to the top of it, and
Yeah.
then he just flies across the countryside. Well,
Oh,
the people who
yeah.
have
Fate.
set up the hot air balloon are being invaded by.
That scene is
That part
gorgeous.
feels like such a different movie than the
Yeah.
That
rest
scene
of
is
it.
gorgeous. I
It's
love
so
that scene.
cool. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite scenes in the movie. It's just like such
How
a
that
weird idea to open a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The scene is
Yes.
I love how it's cut together, how the shots are cut together to give that vibe. It's very fun. And I think the movie's sort of about like escapism a bit. These people trying to escape from the confines of their time and place in society. And I think you see that too in Tarkovsky himself with the Soviet censorship. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's cool to think about.
Good point.
It's a nice through line.
It's very interesting.
Um,
I don't know what. Let me look at the chapters and figure
I
out
know
which
the
one was my
second
favorite.
scene is the one with them walking to that,
the Jesters
the
bar.
Jester's bar
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And
It's
then
the first chapter.
the Jester's being a silly guy. And then two of the monks, they leave. And you don't know exactly what's happened. And then they come back and
Goddamn narcs.
then they
Yeah.
just narc basically. They get the police to come and beat this guy and cut half his tongue off, and then he goes to prison for 10 years. But you don't know that he's gone to prison for 10 years. You just know he's fucked. I don't know why
Yeah.
exactly. We don't know why he's getting in trouble, which might.
He was making fun of the boyars.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the
I feel like
aristocracy.
this kind of gets into maybe some communist, Stalinist Russia stuff. Just talking about how you can just snitch on someone to the
Yeah.
authorities and then be disappeared for years of your
Yeah.
life, and that's
And like immediately, no question.
Yeah.
no questions.
Um,
Everyone stands by. I love how that scene's constructed too, right? Because it's like it's so loud as the gesture's going off, and then the guys come in, they say one thing, and it's complete silence, and he gets
Yeah.
pulled away like that.
Yeah,
Just the juxtaposition of the audio is
raucous
great.
energy to like dead silence.
And just he says one thing. That guy says all these things, and they just say one thing and he's done. It's great use of dialogue.
I really like the way that they even filmed that scene. They use the like super wide lenses, so you get a lot of distortion on either side of the frame. I thought that was very interesting and just a cool look, cool visual choice.
Yeah. Tarkovsky movies are just so cool to look at.
Yeah,
Just turn the audio off and look at them.
put on a cool record
Gorgeous.
and just
Yeah.
Andrei Rublev. That's the way to do it.
There
Put
was
on some
a lot
Kanye
of
West.
cool camera placements and movement, like those shots. They get like swaths of the countryside, and they're kind of at like an elevated angle, and it's just tracking, and then it kind of pans down to get. There's one near the end, at least. There's a few of them, and they pan down to like you look at the people building the bell, which we'll get to later, or stuff like that. Like there's some really cool placements. I'm wondering how maybe you put it on a tree or something. I don't know.
Or
But
a large crane, probably.
on a crane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering how they did those initial like POV shots with the hot air balloon. Like I thought when they're going up the building and they're so high.
Yeah.
It must have been like a helicopter or something. It just
It's
looked really cool.
gorgeous. Yeah, and it's so cool
smooth
to
as well.
see effects like that in like a movie that's 80 years old, 60 years old. It's really cool.
There
Not
you
quite
go.
that old.
And then okay, so we've talked about the first two short stories. Then there's the prologue. It's called the prologue, so never mind. The hot air balloon is the prologue. The first one's the jester. Second one is
the
Theophanes, the Greek.
Yeah.
It's a fun character. It's a fun
popping up.
foil.
I didn't fully get it, but he's really just there to make money. He doesn't really care about the art as much as what I remember, if I remember correctly.
He's
looking for new apprentices, right? He talks to Serial a lot.
Serial. Yeah.
In the version that I watched, his name was spelled Cyril, and to me that's Serial.
Yeah.
Cyril, maybe.
Oh, it's Kirill or something like that. I don't know.
Probably.
Or Cyril.
Probably Kirill.
All the names were different on my version than they are on the Wikipedia.
Oh, because you were watching the DVD, right?
I was watching the YouTube. It was like the first one on YouTube. So.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I'm gonna let Criterion Collection know about that.
Please
So that's
Call
don't.
him up.
interesting.
It's a 4K on YouTube. It's a really good
Oh, that's
copy.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
but
should
the
say the
names are
film
all wrong.
follows these three monks, not just Andrei Rublev. Are
Yeah,
they monks? Like artist monks?
I think so. I think they're
Yeah,
monks. They're
Yeah,
referred to as monks by a
they
few
all
other
do
people.
religious painting at least, like
Yeah,
yeah.
except Serial,
but
he sucks.
he
He
does
Bad
does.
suck.
painter.
And so in
Pantless
this scene,
hat. Fuck him.
Serial talks to Theophanes the Greek. He's like, I'll make you an apprentice, and I'll come work with me on this on these like fresco paintings or whatever at the cathedral for
Yep.
the Grand Prince. And that's kind of most of what I remember. He talks a little bit about his painting philosophy, I think. You guys want to say anything more about that scene before we move on, or?
That's pretty much all I remember about that scene as well. Other than
Yeah.
Theophanes is just kind of laying down the whole time too.
Yeah,
He's not really engaged with Kirill.
it's a good point. Yeah, and Serial is like groveling almost. He really wants that success, and he's
Does.
as far as I remember. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then in the next story, um, they come in. Theophanes has sent like a courier to go and meet the monks, and Serial is passed up for Andrei Rublev, which
Yeah.
is quite
Yeah.
embarrassing for him.
Pisses him off.
He's jealous.
But I mean, how could you compete with Andrei Rublev? Look at
It's
that
true.
scene.
Is there a
Duh,
movie called
Andrei Rublev.
Serial? I don't think so.
Don't
There's
think
a
so.
reason there's not.
Yeah.
Is there a Criterion release of your movie Serial? Don't think so,
Tarkovsky make
buddy.
your movie? Hell no.
The fuck out of here, dog. And
Get the fuck
that's
out of here.
what he does. He kills his dog. He's so mad. Which,
Yeah, that was a
Oh, that
brutal
was
scene.
fucked. Yeah.
I don't
That was
support
John
it.
Wick
I remember
reverse.
watching that scene. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cute. The dog's following him, going with
Yeah.
him. He just
Oh.
he did
It
not
eats the
find it
shit
as
out of
cute.
you.
And later Serial's like, I haven't done as many bad things as you have, Andre. Even when he's like trying to,
Okay,
and he does shit like that. Like, I don't know.
okay, Serial.
Killing your
We
own
hate
dog
Serial.
is so much
We
worse
hate
than,
Is that
yeah,
Serial.
we hate him.
Is killing a dog worse than killing a person? There's a philosophical question.
Good question. Good question. I mean, Andre doesn't kill anyone, I don't think. I don't,
Yeah, he
maybe,
does.
who does he kill?
He
Well, he
kills
says he
someone to
kills someone.
protect
The girl.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was crucial. Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's why he took the vow of
But
silence.
I don't see that as a bad crime.
It's a good crime.
Anyways, we'll get to
An
it later.
innocent
Yeah.
dog. Yeah,
Killing your own innocent dog seems worse than stopping
I
someone
agree.
from being raped.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. Anyone want to disagree with me on that real quick?
Greg, you've been
we
real
can
quiet.
we can put a poll out to the critters. See where they stand on that.
We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Okay. Anyways,
In
they
this
run
one,
into Theophanes in the forest, which is weird.
got
Ew.
ants
Which is
crawling all
weird.
over
I'm
him.
like, how does that happen?
He's just there.
It's just there in
He's
the
hanging
forest,
out.
I hated
chilling.
that shot of the ants on his feet. That fucks with me. I hate that.
Like, why is he like that after he's been like, I'm a commercial painter kind of thing? And
Is
there's
it
these.
him, like, just like the idea of him, like, decomposing or something? Like the ants are eating him. Like,
There is the
Okay.
dead swan too, right
he's
after.
lost the art. He doesn't care about the
There
art
you
anymore.
go.
He's just about the commercial value.
There you go.
And
That's
picked
why
over.
I need you guys.
Three of us together, we can figure out this movie.
It's a group
Exactly.
effort to understand some Tarkovsky.
Yeah,
Gotta put the minds together, gather the council.
exactly.
We're getting there.
Yeah, but he's going off with Foma, or as in my version, he was called Thomas. Yeah, and they run into the Greek guy, and they see a snake in the water, and they talk about the color of the sky, which
And
I
a
pulled over
Zur.
and I had to look up. Yeah,
That's what the apprentice is big at, is a Zur. This
yeah,
tough color to work with or
Yeah.
synthesize or something. And they're like, that ain't shit. That ain't shit.
that ain't shit. And then they talk about Christ's crucifixion, which I won't lie, I didn't really understand the
We see
connection.
Christ
between-
crucifixion.
Yeah, they just like reenacted in the background without explaining that this is just like not happening in real
confusing
time.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of confusing. But it's just like, hey guys, Christ died, and let's reenact that. Was maybe the decision making there. Maybe there's more. I'm sure
I'm
there was
sure
more
there's
to it,
more.
but
I'm sure
They talk
there's
about
a
in
lot of
that
thought.
scene learning to love God not as like just a godly figure, but as a man as well, like using
yes,
that kind of love, like a different kind of love towards God, which is. But I don't know how that's connected to the movie really. Like it's an interesting point
I guess just
for
like
like a
I think
religious study, but I don't know how
yeah,
it
like
if
connects.
sounds
I
more like loving yourself and your
yeah,
imperfections
Okay.
as a person, maybe.
if I had
Well,
to make an extrapolation, I'd probably
yeah.
say it's something to do with like yeah, just loving yourself and how like through expression, through artistic endeavors, right? You kind of create, as you said, it's like childbirth and it's like an act of creation, kind of
Mhm.
similar to a religious one. And I don't know, that's how I understand Tarkovsky's system, sort of just intertwining of spiritualism and faith and art
Yeah.
all through
I actually have a
self.
Tarkovsky quote that's pretty related to that right here. The ability to create is our similarity to our creator. Art is an attempt to understand, to find the truth, which is the reason for human existence.
Yeah,
And I
I
had
fuck with that hard, actually.
it's a very good quote.
It
And I
is a
had a
good
connection, but
Love
quote.
I don't
that.
remember it anymore.
Um, And that's something like I'm not a spiritual person very much. I'm not a religious person, but I might start tapping into Tarkovsky's wavelength. I really like the way he puts it and just the need to create. I kind of want to tap into that a
Mhm.
little more.
Is that what
That's a
compelled
spirit.
you guys to make a podcast? Is that
To
what
be more
compels
like
everyone
God,
to make a podcast?
to be
Critterpit is a
Citter's
closer
in
to
Noah.
God is
spiritual
to have a
exercise.
podcast.
Yeah. You hop on a podcast and it's like opening a dialogue up with God, the higher
Exactly.
beings.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Podcasts are the modern day prayer. That's what I've heard.
Dude,
I would say, I
someone
mean, we're quoting like almost like quoting scripture. We're quoting
I would say so.
Tarkovsky right now. Like, think
feel
about
like
it,
we
guys.
should feel like we should get Joe Rogan in on this episode, man. He'd be fucking loving this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get an impression down so that I can just slip into that in
Oh
future
yeah,
episodes.
It's a good one to
I'm
have
sure.
for a podcast.
I'm sure.
It
I'm sure
is.
Jake. I'm sure Jake has a good Joe
Yeah.
Rogan.
We have a friend who's very good at impressions, and he'll just he'll slip into anybody.
That's
Yeah,
cool. That's cool. It's kind of a
Instagram.
skill in like any kind of talk format. I think it's a real skill.
Yeah, it was big. Hulk Hogan. He did for a long time. That
Yep.
was a fun era.
Brother.
Oh yeah,
Oh
brother.
there, brother. Oh there, dude.
Okay,
Good times.
I want to get into one of my favorite scenes, which is the
Let's hear
holiday,
it.
the fourth one, when they're camping on the riverbank, and they hear like these sounds in the distance, and he kind of sees these naked people running, and they're pagans.
They're having a party.
Mm.
They're having a party, and it's like it's awesome. And
It's
then
all sin. They're wrong for doing it.
no, I thought it was cool.
It was
Uh, but he's like intrigued, and unlike the other monks and other, not the other monks because they don't go with them because they're we didn't get into that, but Cyril doesn't go with them because he's so jealous. Um,
yeah.
but anyways, Andrei goes off on his own and gets caught spying on. I think it was spying on a girl, right, or a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then some guys come up behind him and they tie him to a post and leave him there. And then yeah, the girl lets him go.
But he goes on a little rant about how they're sinners and how what they're doing is wrong. But yeah, they
Yeah, I
let
don't
him go
remember that
eventually.
because I just thought it was cool.
It was an interesting scene. It was
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, later on, you see as they're leaving, I guess the authorities have come to break up the pagans, and the girl who was in the tent with him or in the house with him who lets him go, he sees her swimming to escape in a pretty dramatic scene, and she swims past him, and he turns his head away because he doesn't want anyone to know, I guess, that she helped him. But I thought that scene was pretty cool. It was a weird scene, and it was after that scene that I fell asleep, but I really did enjoy it.
I fell
a good
asleep
one to fall asleep to.
after the Greek. scene in the forest. I
Yeah.
was in and out since then.
When did you stop watching Sam the first time?
The first time I stopped watching right before the raid.
Yeah. Okay.
So just about halfway through, I think.
Do you guys, when you fall asleep during movies and you're like kind of in and out of it while watching it, do your brains convince you that like no time has passed in the movie? That you're like, oh, this is the same scene I fell asleep during.
Yeah,
You get
Sometimes.
that?
for this one, it's harder even where it's like you
Yeah.
could have fallen asleep and woken up and it wouldn't have even mattered.
Actually,
right?
still been in the same scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But everything
It's
felt
Good point.
different.
it was
I don't know.
lucid, man. It was very
I
lucid.
usually just get anxious. I'm like, okay, fuck, how much did I miss? How much did I miss? And yeah, but no, I don't know. I just paused it and fell asleep. It actually happened to me
Mm,
twice throughout this movie, and I watched it over 3 days. It's embarrassing to say, but
nah,
that's why
it's
there's
Took
some
me 3 days
memory
to finish
problems
this
with
one
some
as
of the
well.
earlier scenes. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, we're all a little bit sleepy this episode too.
We are. It's a
Yeah, it's the
sleepy
end of the week.
cast.
You know,
We're
I
all
think we're talking
A long
slower.
week.
We have
Yeah,
more pauses. I think we're like kind of like Tarkovsky. You know,
we are.
exactly.
he
I'll
directs
slow
it.
Tarkovsky
down this whole episode in the edit
is
to make it
inside of
so that
us.
it's 3 hours long no matter what.
Yeah.
I
This will be
like
a
that
3-hour
idea.
cast.
Yep.
We're gonna leave long moments of silence. It's not dead air. Trust us, guys.
It's for
It's to
reflection.
let you think. It's for meditation.
We've said some wonderfully insightful things, so
Yeah.
think about it for a moment.
Yeah. Think about it. Don't be in such a rush. The whole world's in a rush.
Hey, hey, hey! All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you guys take the second half of this.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Looked
Let me
great. Looked great.
yeah, it did look great. So we're into part 4 now? No,
I
we're
think
into
part
part 5.
5.
The Last Judgment. So this is when Andrei, right, he's painting the church and he's like, "Fuck, it's going so wrong. Everything sucks. Uh, I don't love the way that this is turning out." But luckily for him, he doesn't have to worry about it because they get raided. Uh,
Mm.
and that's kind of all I remember from that scene.
Yeah, I think in this one, this scene was one of the ones that was really confusing because yeah, they were like painting. They get there, and half the people are like, "This sucks." And where's Andre? We need him right now. And Andre's having a conversation with Daniil, and I think, and they're just talking about random stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, not random stuff. It was clever, sure. I just don't remember. Again, I'm very sorry. This is going to be probably the worst Critterpit episode. So
No, no.
No, no, no,
This is
no.
already by far better than probably half
The
or
W
more
episode.
than half.
The W
but
episode.
yeah, they're talking about something, and then yeah, the other people are like, "We're gonna leave because this is not working." Um, and then they leave to go work for the other prince, who's the grand prince's like twin.
Mm,
And as
I
they're
don't remember
leaving,
that at all.
you don't remember that?
me
That's what I
neither.
remember.
I remember them leaving,
Y-
but I don't remember like a twin thing. I must have
The
just missed
grand
that.
prince has a twin brother who's the other prince. You know?
All right. I
No,
was sleeping,
That's
so
cool.
I don't know.
no. They
I
even
mean,
mention it later at the end of the movie. They say, and that was his twin. And there's that scene where it's like the one of the prince's memory, and they it's like they're talking about the two princes being brothers, and that they meet. I think they're yeah. You don't
That
remember
sounds
this?
sick.
I
That sounds
I
sick.
feel like I was trying so hard to pay attention, and I might have just been like, "These guys are the same person." I just I
Okay.
I forgot their name, and it's a different name now. Like,
I
it's
swear to God,
Yeah.
I'm going crazy or
you're probably right. You're probably right. I just
no. Oh man, this is embarrassing if I'm wrong. I'm probably
Nah,
probably
wrong. I'm probably wrong.
what are you
Um,
gonna do?
what am I gonna do? Anyways, they leave and then they're blinded. Um,
right.
yeah, the Grand Duke's brother. There's a brother.
Okay.
They leave after indignantly proclaiming that the Grand Duke's brother will have a much more splendid home than he himself. And then
Mm.
later they talk about them being twins. But yeah, Okay, anyways, I don't know. I remember that. You don't.
I believe you.
This is the importance of subjectivity in film and interpretation.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Genius.
it's genius. It's genius. I think this is great. Anyways, yeah, the raid is really the scene that I remember more and that seemed better. I think that's where the movie really picked up for me.
Me too.
The raid onwards is like a great film. The first part is just pretty good, in my opinion. I mean, there's a good chance I rewatch this later. I have a steady round of coffee or something coming in, and I really enjoy it on the rewatch and like just sit through it in one sitting. It could happen,
I think
but
maybe if this
that's
was
not.
playing at Metro or something, I'd hit that.
Yeah, and
Seeing
then
it
you
in the
have like
theater would probably be a
hecklers in the
much better
back saying
experience.
stuff,
Yeah,
cracking
exactly.
jokes, that kind of thing. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
great. But yeah, okay, the raid. This is the scene you were talking about. Scene we mentioned, we alluded to earlier. That was really good. And
The way it's filmed kind of reminded me of Army of Darkness a little bit when the Deadites are invading the castle. I don't know. It just reminded me of that. It's a lot of like kind of fights from afar and like people getting thrown off buildings or like a little spurt of blood every now and then. It was a fun scene. I liked it.
It is a fun scene. You know, a horse really died in that scene.
I believe it.
Yeah, they actually they had one that was up on a railing, and it falls off the railing. Do you remember that one? Off and it's a real horse because it's moving in the shot before, and you see the whole thing happen in one continuous take.
Yep.
So
I
I'm sure
never
that horse
noticed that.
died. Yeah,
I said poor horse.
yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think there was one later where someone's cutting into a horse that's fallen, and I'm not sure if that could have been done with effects, but yeah, it gets crazy.
Probably cheaper to do it for real.
I guess so, especially if you're in Russia. I mean, there's no animal cruelty stuff probably at that time in movies.
And you're already not supposed to be making this movie, so you're just like
Totally. If you come and say, "I'm not making a movie, but is it okay if I kill this horse in this scene? Is this going to be okay?" And they're like, "What are you talking about? You're not making a movie. Why are you asking me this?" But anyways, fuck. Okay,
such a long movie.
it's such a lot. We're all just like half asleep or something.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but the real important scene is that the Tartars have colluded with the Grand Duke's brother.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So he has a brother. Yep. Okay. Good. We're clear on that now. Good.
I'm with you now. It makes the movie make so much more sense.
Now you get it. Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool.
So
that's why that happens. Yeah. So they're trying to get. Yeah. Anyways, the Grand Duke's away. The Grand Duke's brother colludes with the Tartar invaders, and they ransack the town, and they break into I guess it's the castle, or what's that building there in the cathedral?
Yeah.
Into the cathedral, and they just start murdering fools, and
even Foma,
which I'm okay with because he's a dork,
a liar. He's a goddamn liar.
He is a goddamn liar. Anyways, the Tartars start to take one of Andrei's. I don't know what the exact relation is, but someone that Andrei knows. I don't know if it's like his girl. It's not his girlfriend, but like someone who's part of his painting posse, and his crew. And they take her up, and to probably do horrible things to her. And then Andrei follows this soldier and kills him as he's going up the stairs in a pretty cool shot, or up a ladder in a pretty cool shot as he slides down after being attacked. But yeah, that's horrible act, Andrei. Horrible.
Unforgivable.
I can't believe you killed someone. One of God's creatures.
Silence for the rest of your life.
I'd say so.
The end of the movie.
Yep. I would have done that too. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree. I mean, a modern day person would be like, yeah, that was probably an okay thing to do under those circumstances, but
yeah,
whatever. Andrei's got his own code, and he's like a hardcore
it's
guy.
during a raid too. Like it's
wartime.
Exactly.
exactly. You know, like I'm surprised he got out of there alive.
Yeah, me too.
Is
But,
there
I
anything
mean
else that they do with his paintings? They kind of show his paintings and in the scenes.
well,
I don't.
he meets with, Thelonious again, right? At the end? At the end of this scene?
Oh
Theophanes.
yeah, yeah. Theophanes.
Theophanes, yes.
Yeah, and they
He's like, "I
talk
thought you
about
died."
how sad it is that he lost his work and that humanity's awful. That kind. I mean, it makes sense when you see a raid like this and the murder of like innocent people. If he didn't kill someone, I could see taking a vow of silence if you're like a religious type,
Yeah.
especially just the horrors of mankind, and that's kind of um that's something that kind of comes up a few times in the movies in this movie. Um, but I think that's part of the vow of silence. It's not just him murdering someone. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anything
And
else
it
you
I
guys
think
want to say about this scene?
it's
my
interesting, like
fire alarm is going off.
Oh,
whoa, shit.
nice.
Just like the idea of a vow of silence too is interesting. There's a line that Serial says, I think in the next scene, but it's
Hmm.
he takes his sin with him always. And it's like because whenever you see him and they're like, "Oh, he's taking a vow of silence," they have to ask like, "Oh, why?" It's like, "Oh, because he killed a dude." It's like
Yeah.
he can't escape that, and even though he's I guess trying to get away from that through his vow of silence, he takes that with him everywhere he goes.
Yeah. He can't tell them no, you're wrong. It's
Yeah.
because of the horrors of humanity. No, he's labeled and he has to live with it.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Interesting.
thought it was interesting idea. I mean, I guess it's real, but it's interesting. It's an interesting choice that Andrei makes there, and I
It
think
is.
it's powerful. But
Maybe he just got tired of the constant yapping of all his friends. He was like, "Ah."
yeah, I'm feeling that way right now.
Yeah.
I just um. Okay. Yeah. Anything else? I mean, the shots are really cool of the
Looks
horses.
great.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Um,
It's a
the
pretty
horses
long.
going up like the roads and yeah, it's cool stuff. It's a really well shot kind of raid scene
Yeah.
that I think is a nice change from the lack of action throughout the rest of the
Yeah, it's not them
throughout
just
anything
in
before.
one room kinda talking.
Yeah, yeah.
Momentum.
Yeah.
Okay, is there okay, let's you wanna move on to the next one?
Yeah, I think we can.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this is gonna make a very interesting episode just listing off each section, but whatever,
It's
whatever,
something. We
man.
needed something, and
Yeah.
Well,
You
okay.
you made this episode the best version it can be. So
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, without you, we probably would have talked about the movie for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
we talked about
Okay.
whatever.
Okay, well, how about we talk about the
Everything and
next
nothing.
interesting scene that I remember, which I think is the next scene where he's taking his vow of silence and he's back at um the monastery he was living at
Yeah.
before he gets a call from Theophanes to come to Moscow and work in the cathedral. And he's there with the girl the girl who he saved.
Yep.
I think she is also taken a vow of silence because she does not talk at all. And
Yeah, I don't know if she's sillier than he is, though.
yes,
He was
she's
fun.
less mature. She hasn't
Yeah.
been through as much. She's younger as well. Um, but I think they both. I think I remember that they both take the vow of silence. I'm pretty sure. I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, again, this is the art
That's
of
the
it.
talk, right?
There's a lot of ambiguity in the movie. I'll be honest. Like they don't really make things clear, and
Ambiguity in a Tarkovsky movie? I thought he
just
was
some
like
of
a
like the
clear-cut
editing
guy.
choices are like, okay, where is this coming from? It's
Yeah.
really yeah. And some of the stuff you have to just recognize the character's face, and it's hard when a few of them kind of look the same.
Oh my god, yeah.
But
They all dress the same too.
yeah, 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 and they
I
all talk the
will
same because I
say,
don't speak Russian, so I don't
Yeah,
know
exactly.
I
exactly how
will
they sound.
say, um,
Yes.
to add something to the conversation,
Okay.
um, is that I love the guy they got for Andrei Rublev. He has like a very distinct kind of expressive face.
Hmm.
Um, and I was
It
reading
Angular.
took me like 3 acts to realize which one he was, though, I won't lie.
I was reading the casting behind it, and it was Anatoly Solonitizin. Good
Okay.
pronunciation. This was like he was an unknown actor at this point, and this was like his major role. And Tarkovsky wanted an unknown because
Mm.
Andrei Rublev, obviously a famous person in Russian history, he wanted just kind of a blank face for that
Mhm.
role, so it wouldn't be distracted in the audience at all, which I thought was cool.
Oh, that is
You
cool. I
you
mean,
like
that's
it.
kind of the idea that like Bresson uses for his movies, where he just like is like, this is what the character looks like. I don't care if they can't act. You're the main
Yeah,
character, and you're just gonna do what I tell you to. You're like a model, basically, for my movie, and that's what sounds like
ca-
Absolutely.
this was.
casting is everything.
Interesting.
I think
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
you
interesting
can
way to
get a
cast.
shit actor, but like just the look goes so far in a
It
Just look at
does.
John
performance.
Waters' movies, right? Where it's, like, full of
Yeah,
shitty actors, but he has the perfect dialogue and the perfect cast for what his movies are. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
look at past the John
and
Waters movies, they
And
suck. There's
perfect
nothing
hijinks.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you look at the films that come out of our program too, and it's like they can be like really technically well made, but just it's just our peers in it. But then the films that
Yeah.
actually go
Yeah, do
out
you
and
wanna
get like
name
the
some of
first
them that
best.
you really hated working with or anything like that, or you don't wanna get
Um,
It's for
okay.
the
uh,
After Dark on the After Dark for sure.
You
But
could come on our episode or
yeah,
something
on the
sometime
Pork
and
and
complain.
Bones. Name
Yeah,
names.
we could shit talk some sets for, like,
Yeah,
hours.
perfect, perfect.
been on some wild ones. But
I'd
Yeah.
love to
yeah,
we'll do, the dirt in the Red Deer film
yeah,
industry or something like that.
it'll be good.
There's a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
We'll
lot.
just air that all out at, on an episode.
Some
I'll talk to Alex. He'll be down.
Hell yeah.
some wild characters, man. Believe
Um,
me.
anyways, this scene's pretty cool. The silence chapter. And, it's basically Serial saying, like, "Take me back." Um, and then the other part is, the Tartars
Rublev,
arriving
"You
and
come back."
taking, Andrei's, uh, girl. They're not dating or anything, but Andrei's
No,
girl, because I can't remember her name. It's
Andre's
like,
companion.
yeah, companion.
It's a better
Perfect.
term.
Perfect. Yeah, it is a much better term. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam. Um, anyways, they are taunting her and saying like, "Oh yeah, you can be my wife and eat the horse meat
I
and
don't
all
have
that
a
stuff."
Russian wife. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a Russian wife and all this weird stuff. Kind of poking fun at her as well, but she doesn't realize it entirely. She just wants like a new life
Not to
and
be
the
starving.
comforts that he can offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
So
Andrei keeps pulling her away. He
yeah,
sees through their trickery.
yeah, it was an interesting scene. That's really all I got from that scene. I mean, again, gotta talk to a Tarkovsky scholar. Do you have a Tarkovsky film prof?
Hell
I'd be
no.
surprised.
I
Yeah,
wish.
yeah.
I don't know that there'd be enough people that would sign up for that course.
I don't think I'd sign up for it. Yeah,
Yeah, the
I'd
next
probably sign up
genres
for it and
class.
regret it, like, trying to write that first paper.
yeah.
Yeah,
How
it'd
do
be
I
so
start
interesting though. I would love it.
We should.
Would
Okay,
love it.
I want to do my favorite scene though, which is near the end,
the bell?
the last chapter, not the epilogue. I don't know. I think we were talking briefly before. Is this what's your favorite scene? Is this your favorite
The
scene?
bell making one is my favorite scene as well.
Yeah. Okay.
The whole movie could have just been about the kid making the bell,
It
and,
was
like,
so awesome. It
yeah.
was really cool. And there's like,
I was so happy when he found the clay. I was like, "Yeah, he did it. Fuck yeah."
yeah, and this feels like a real short story that's like has a beginning and an end and a
Yeah.
trick in it that makes it really interesting. Um, and I guess because you sat through this much, we'll just spoil it now. But it starts with this young boy. You don't know his relation, but his name's Boriska, and he's the son of a bell maker who's renowned in the area, I guess, because one of these princes sends an envoy to come get him to make a bell for them,
Yeah,
and they
'cause it's
find out that
ridiculous they don't have a bell.
yeah, and they find out that everyone's died to the plague except for this boy who says he's Bariska's son, or sorry, not Bariska, the bell maker's son.
And he knows the secret. He knows the
And he knows
secret.
a secret that was told to him on his father's deathbed. So Bariska is in charge of of the project, and it's kind of odd that like this like young guy is telling these old men what to do.
Yeah. Well, they
I
do
don't.
kind of resist him for a little bit. Like, there's a
Yeah,
couple scenes where they're
I
like,
think
"What the
he's
fuck are you
crazy,
doing?"
and
Yeah. You're never gonna
I
find the
was.
right clay.
I thought that there's so many ways that I thought the story was going to go that it didn't go, and I'm glad it didn't almost because the actual reveal was like a lot more interesting than I thought it would
Mhm.
be, and it's that. So, anyways, he's made this bell, and then it works, and that you're wondering if it's going to work or anything like that. And
Yep.
so once it works, you think, oh well, yeah, he actually knew what he was doing. But no, he runs away to this. He runs away into like the tundra, and Andrei's been watching him this whole time, and
Yeah.
he starts crying against like a cross, I think. And Andrei comes to console him, and he breaks his vow of silence. But the boy tells him that his father is a lying snake and didn't tell him the secret of bell making.
Yep.
And he thought he was going to die. And I mean, I thought what was going to happen was that the prince was going to kill him anyways because he said, "I'm getting shortchanged on the silver by like
The prince
16
killed a
pieces."
lot of other people, like, that were working
Yeah,
on the bell, right? Like, it's pretty
yeah.
much just him left. So, I definitely thought he was gonna die.
I thought he was going to die, but he doesn't die. And there are secrets. Really, I mean, that I thought that was a really interesting twist to the story that I
Yeah.
really thought was really interesting, and the reactions, the acting there at the end was pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, this is like 10 years after the initial vow of silence, kind of.
Andrei looks old.
He looks old. He's balding.
Yeah.
He's got a crow's nest kind of thing. Pretty bad one at that. And he's there just kind of like witnessing some of this young boy's struggles, and also he's a bit cruel to the older men around him. He orders one of them to be beaten for not following his orders.
Yep.
And he feels the judgment of Andrei. There's a lot of really cool parts of this scene, I think, but I just think it's like it has more of a narrative to it that makes it interesting to watch than a lot of the other. There's some drama in this scene that the other
Yeah.
scenes
And this
just
one,
don't
you
have.
could just pick up. You could just watch. Like,
Yeah,
you
you
don't
could
need to
just
see the
watch the
rest of the
last
movie.
40 minutes or whatever of the movie, and that was
Yeah.
really interesting.
It's why I think it's the best scene, 'cause you were able to follow it. It was like, I can kinda figure out what's going on here. Yeah, I quite liked it, and they talk about, like, legacy a little bit about, "You make bells, I make art," and maybe
Let's
Andre
work
feeling.
together.
Yeah, exactly.
That
You
was
could
really cool that you said that.
I thought that was a great sequel tease. I'm still waiting on that one.
Yeah, Boriska is the sequel. That'd be great.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Andre is like a Nick Fury type character. He's doing all these paintings. He thinks they're the greatest artists throughout Russia.
Yes,
He's got the
sir.
bell maker. He needs to find like an architect soon to build the church. And their Avengers is them like putting together an actual cathedral. I think that's good.
I think okay, if he doesn't make that, I don't think he's going to be making that. So you could make it.
Yes,
That's
sir.
going to be my fourth year project for
So
my feature
maybe
film.
shoot Andrei Tarkovsky a message, see if he's down for that.
I'll just make sure
Will
that the
do.
rights are available. Just
Yeah,
I'm not sure how copyright works in Russia in 15th century Russia, but
yeah,
I'll figure it out. It shouldn't be too hard.
cool. I'm looking forward to that.
I'll make it
Yeah,
6 hours long.
yeah. I think that's a good idea. Good idea.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like a 0.25, 0.5
It's a 4 times
times
speed.
speed, it's just four. It's like 0.05
Yeah.
times speed.
Yeah.
So it's just
So
like,
slow.
yeah, that'd be impressive.
It's a real time they build the cathedral. It's a real time movie.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. That'd be cool.
No.
Ethan, anything you want to add? You've been silent since.
Um,
Did
Are
you
you
take a
taking a
vow
vow
of
of
silence?
silence?
yeah, I'll break my vow of silence real quick. Yeah, I've been sleeping
Okay.
through. I slept through everything you guys are talking about, in and out
Wow.
of sleep. So I've just been reading about Samuel Fuller films. It's really
I was reading about
interesting.
Samuel Fuller yesterday. What a guy.
I actually haven't seen any of his movies. I really want to. I might start with the 40
Fucking
Guns
sick.
because I'm a bit more of like a Western guy.
You should watch
Ish.
Shot
Shock
Corridor.
Corridor. and Naked
Yep.
Kiss,
Yep.
bangers.
Those are great.
So good. Steel
That
Helmet's
is
pretty
dope.
great too.
And then you can watch the Critterpit episode on them.
Yes, sir. I might watch
Okay.
White Dog tonight. That sounds real
That does
interesting.
sound like an interesting movie. I've looked up what that's about.
Yeah.
Do you guys
But
want to talk about the very ending? Is there anything you want to talk about the movie, Ethan?
I definitely gotta rewatch it.
Same.
I was way too sleepy. I thought I could hunker down, full attention, get through it, but my eyelids got heavy, and it's so long
Dude,
and
it's so long.
so boring.
It's kind of boring. Yeah.
And I feel guilty because I love Tarkovsky. I really love the previous works of his. Like, they really connected with me, but this was a test, you know? This is a real test, and maybe that's what he was setting out to do,
Damn.
and maybe I was unworthy.
Maybe this was his popcorn movie. He thought this would be the one, the popular one.
I think
Everybody's
so.
gonna be
Yeah.
watching this.
I think that's what he was going for.
A good family flick.
It's a gorgeous Criterion release. It's a really lovely cover.
It's got a cool cover. I don't know. Is it the same one that's on
Andrei
the?
on the cover?
It's the one with Andrei standing there with the gold sun behind him. And
Oh, I always thought it was
Oh,
the Greek guy was on the cover.
I think that's Andrei.
Let me look at the cover real
I'm
quick.
pretty sure that's Andrei.
okay. You got it. Oh yes. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Because I've
Yeah,
only
that's
seen the
him as an
cover.
old man. That's definitely him as an
Yeah.
old man.
Yeah, it's a really pretty release. It has
Yeah, I
the
hate that.
steamroller and the
Edited.
violin. Tarkovsky's student thesis film.
Oh,
So that's sick. I love a Criterion that has 2 movies on it.
Is it shorter?
Justifying. I think it's like a 60-minute one. Let me
Wow.
that'd be nice.
fact
Yeah.
check
Wow.
that. Though.
Tarkovsky.
Okay. I think we've talked about like almost all of the movie. We just haven't talked about the final scene, which is an interesting
This is probably the one I've got the most to say about.
twist.
The
Okay, there you go. Okay, take it away. Take it away.
Of course. So the epilogue, it starts by focusing on a painting, presumably by Andrei Rublev, and it starts in black and white, and it turns to color, and from there we start to flash a whole bunch of different Andrei Rublev paintings and how they all, still exist, and his legacy continues to this very day. And that's really all I have to say about it. I don't have much to say. It's just cool paintings, cool 1400s paintings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of lame. Cool.
It was cool. Yeah. I don't love his art. I'll say it. I'll be the first to say it.
Holy
Oh,
sacrilege.
kill him.
It's cool that he got a biopic.
It's
Yeah,
cool.
that is goated. Yeah, I don't know.
I think-
I kind of agree. I don't really connect with his stuff. I get it. Maybe it's really cool. I'm not really an art. I'm not too much of a visual painting art guy like that.
And especially of this of the medieval period. I find a lot of
not
his
as much
paintings,
religious
they look-
painting. More like modern and modernist and impressionist.
Yeah, but
painting
just
is kinda what I'm
generally
into.
medieval paintings.
I
I don't know a lot about them, and whenever I see one, I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's flat and looks
I
the
know
same.
one thing they kind of didn't have perspective fully figured out at that period.
Which is so
Yeah.
interesting that they only figured out perspective like 200 some years ago. Or no, not
yeah, maybe
the rules of it. We learned this in
400
drawing.
maybe?
Yeah, it's relatively recent. You'd be like, I feel like they should have figured that out.
Yeah,
Things in the
definitely.
distance get smaller than
Guys,
things that are close.
guys,
took,
you guys should have had that figured out. I'm talking to you,
I took
Tarkovsky.
half.
Andrei Rublev.
I took half an art history course, so
Nice.
I think
And
those
a
paintings are
drawing
pretty
course.
sick. Yeah. I can appreciate the fine nuances of artistic development within the
Okay.
paintings.
So
Well, do you want to share that
wisdom-
with the audience, or is this like a personal kind of meaning that you can't express, kind of like a religious feeling for you?
Maybe can you only express it through art? Should we throw up some of your paintings afterwards to show what the film means to you?
You're just gonna have to take the art history course to kind of get to my wavelength.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
that seems reasonable. I'll do that.
yeah.
Can I only take it up to the medieval period? Do I have to continue after that, or
I'm gonna be honest, man. I didn't even make it to the medieval period. I think I dropped out around like fucking the Greek era. I don't know.
pretty
The
early?
Romans.
Pretty
Yeah,
early.
Yeah.
that's a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
passed though. I passed that class.
You passed after dropping it.
No, I just stopped going.
Okay,
And you
okay,
stopped at Greek.
yeah,
Yeah. I passed
that's
though.
Crazy.
impressive. Still passed though.
Big W.
Love
Big
RDP
W.
teachers.
D's get degrees.
Yes,
These
sir.
get degrees.
D's and
I
C's.
got like an
And
80 in that class though. So
oh wow, well, there you go.
yeah, not too
Did
bad.
the teacher confuse you with another student?
She could have. She was a very nice lady.
You put
She's
your
a very
student
nice lady.
number down wrong or whatever on all your tests.
Very well could have. Interesting stuff though, but other stuff in life proved to be more interesting.
Like movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other movies. Other
Not
movies
this
that aren't
one.
3 hours long.
Yeah.
Not this one. Okay, well, I feel like that's near the end of. Is there anything else we should really talk about that we
That's
haven't
all
yet?
I have to say about
I
Andrei.
think that's all I've got for the most part.
I just want to apologize to Tchaikovsky. I let him down big time.
Same. Yeah,
My bad, dog.
I'm
I
not a
think
member of the
Tarkovsky
cult
owes us an
anymore.
apology.
You might.
You made a shitty movie, and it's okay.
Whoa. Okay, one other thing I
Whoa.
was going to ask.
It's not bad.
I've been thinking about this. Do you think there's a connection between Andrei and Andrei?
Ooh, that's bold. I don't know.
Do you
You're
think that
reaching.
it's like he's
I
like
think you're
living
reaching.
in a time of a lot of turmoil?
I
and
think you're
that's
reaching,
like
dog.
that's
In Soviet
Tarkovsky as
Russia?
well.
Reach.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about anything like that.
No.
I
I don't know.
think that's a bit of a reach, David. We just have to check you here.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
Fuck.
Gonna shut
I'm
that
glad you
down.
brought it up, so that we could
Yeah.
clear the air a little bit. But
It's important
of
to
any
be wrong
stupid
sometimes.
opinions. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
It's
what are
important
we
to
if
be wrong
we don't
sometimes.
fail?
Thanks, guys.
Who would
Yeah.
Andrei Rublev be if he didn't fail?
Our mistakes are what make us, David.
That's
Oh
why
my
we have 35 episodes of a podcast. You have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. The second one we're about to release that.
Hell yeah.
So you guys just talk about like you pick a movie, or is it just a
We are
roundup
s-
sort of thing?
Or is it
We're
going to be
just throwing shit
more
at
than
the wall
movies?
right now to see
That's
what
crazy.
sticks, kind of.
Yeah.
So the first one was just like our top fives or whatever, kind of,
Nice.
and we didn't do enough scripting for that one. Anyways,
It was
next
well
one.
edited, though. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
Good.
I don't want to out our editor by name, but they do a great job. So yeah, they also manage our social media.
Hell yeah.
So
yeah.
And it's all unpaid, so I'm grateful for that too. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. Anyways, our next one's going to be on.
We can give you Ethan's ex-girlfriend's name. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually
Bro.
the same person.
oh shit!
Oh, shout out.
Yeah.
She's getting
We're
work.
making their way through Alberta film podcasts.
Yep.
It's
Anyways,
a rich niche.
yeah. Yeah, we're doing it on the Long Goodbye though. We just did like a in-depth review,
Nice.
kind of like this one, but it's about a film we both like, so it's a bit better in that
Yeah.
sense.
Oh,
It's
better
like
than this? What do you mean?
no, not like that. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Whoa.
No. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it is.
No, that's fair.
No, it's just like it's easier to talk about because
Yeah.
it's something that I like more than this, which is something that I feel is good, but maybe not something I want to really put myself through again.
7 out of 10. I got to rewatch it sometime.
Yeah, I'm 7.5 out of 10.
I gave it an 8 just because I feel like I can't give Tarkovsky under an 8.
Yeah, that's very fair.
The next one
we also have to shout out another podcast real quick. I've realized we haven't done this yet. We shout out Pork and Bones. We
Yeah,
also shout out
Pork and
our brother podcast, The Mud Hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
That's
if we've
another
mentioned
podcast that we inspired the start of.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're
you guys
kinda
are
like
inspirational. You guys are big news in Alberta. I'm just gonna say
kinda
that.
like the granddaddies of the podcast business.
Yeah,
but
I would say so. Yeah.
we're really the Tarkovskys of podcasting.
yeah,
That's a great
at the end
point.
of the day.
That's a great
But yeah,
point.
the Mud Hole, hosted by Jacob and Graham. They talk
Okay.
about
Yep.
movies and
Yep.
Kanye West.
And their latest episode was accidentally recorded in autotune. So check that out.
That's
They
sick.
were singing some Kanye in autotune at the start and just forgot to leave it on. They left it on by accident, and yeah, it's pretty fucking magical.
I hope they release it.
They recorded 3 episodes.
I
We were
hope
on the
they
second
release it
one.
too. Yeah.
We're on the second episode, and that can
They're
never
not
be
gonna release that
released.
second episode that we were
It
on.
was
Uh-oh.
it was rough.
That might be
There
a warning about if we ever come on your podcast. We kind of derail other
Oh
people's
no,
podcasts.
we'll offer you a script.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
You just say your lines and it'll be fine.
Thank you. Is it
Sounds
okay if I'm
good.
holding the script? Like,
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Perfect.
We'll have it
Yeah.
projected. That's what we do. We just project it
Oh, that
behind the
makes sense.
camera. So
Nice.
anytime it
Damn.
looks like we're talking to the camera, we're actually
Well,
being
that's why we don't
soulless.
do the cameras, because we read off the script and nobody can
I-
tell.
I do like the
Exactly.
freedom of just being able to like express myself like with my body while I'm talking and
Yeah.
on like a video call and no one's looking at me. Or sorry, an audio call and no one's looking at me, you know?
Yeah.
Versus just
It is
being in front of
something
a
else.
camera and it's like kind of stifles your emotion sometimes. You can't be like you
It's
and you get
interesting.
really like you like just look at yourself when walk back and you're like, man, I look weird when I'm doing that or something, you know?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
how it
can't-
is.
I can't do
Well,
the
you
video
guys do too,
podcast.
a long form podcast as well.
Mhm.
Like, do you forget that the cameras are there or anything? Or is it like always on your mind so far?
I think on the second one it was better. That
Okay.
was one thing. I
Get
felt
more
more
used
prepared
to
in
it.
front of it too. So yeah.
And did you record this one at sunset as well, where the lights will change throughout the?
Oh fuck yeah! That was the best gag of that video.
I like that. That was funny.
Yeah, we recorded it earlier in the day, so it didn't affect it as much. I don't think, but
Okay.
it still changed a bit.
Nice.
You know, that's a price you pay for natural lighting.
It's a lot of
So
money,
be.
as it turns out. Actual lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thunk it?
Yep.
Not me.
No.
Great app.
Yeah, great app. I don't feel as strong about this one as the M1. I'm looking forward to one where I really enjoy the movie and can like.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
looking at our nifty Critterpit guest list mega
Okay.
file we have, and it looks like you're locked in for the next episode too.
Yeah, Diabolique, is that?
Yeah.
And then it's Wages of Fear.
Yes.
I'm so sorry, viewers. I'm so sorry, but I've logged in for those.
Yeah.
I believe, unless you have someone else you wanted for Wages of Fear.
We do have Keegan down for Wages of Fear.
There you go. Okay, this will be okay then.
Just 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Just two in a row. It can be.
You can do it.
You guys can
Critters.
get through it. I can get through it. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
And we got Matt and Jake on for Time Bandits, a Graham double bucket feature. That's gonna be good.
What else have you got coming up? Let me look at
Armageddon.
Armageddon
Episode 40.
Is that the Michael Bay one?
Or Nick.
Michael Bay movie.
Holy
Everyone's
shit!
really
I've heard about that. I don't think I can put myself through that.
We already have so many people that are lining up for the Armageddon app.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're hyped for that. It's gonna be good.
That's gonna be
Very
great. I'm
good.
gonna be sitting through that one.
I think, yeah. I'm excited for the rest of these. Andrei was kind of the one that's you got to get through it.
I thought I was gonna like this movie a lot more than I did, unfortunately.
Damn, we got guests for a while, man. It's not gonna be a Sam and Ethan cast for a while.
Yeah, I think the first free one that we have is Fishing with John, the TV show.
It's an actual just TV show.
It is. It's a TV show. Yeah, it's
Hell
John
yeah.
Leary. He interviews like Jim Jarmusch and Tom Waits and some other actors.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I like John Leary a lot. He's in a lot of great movies.
Have you guys got the Red Shoes?
We've got you locked in for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Episode 44.
Perfect.
We have David Roommate locked in for Henry V. Fifth.
Yeah.
That'll be dope. The other David.
Laurence Olivier. Yeah, that should be good. I'm very proud of us for making it through this movie and through this episode. You know, this was one that I don't think any of us wanted to really do too much.
Yeah, I'm proud of us, guys.
We're at over an hour, which I'm also surprised about. Mostly talking.
It's mostly garbage, so
watch it on 1.5 speed. It's okay. You'll
definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you guys edit your episodes, but you could just edit out about half of that if you want.
I don't edit the episodes like you guys are editing them.
Yeah.
I edit them if we say something really vulgar or if it's a logical error.
Well, that's why we had to edit it too. We were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting better at censoring ourselves, Ethan. I feel like
I think so. We haven't had a major we've only had to scrap one episode.
I mean 2 episodes. One of
what
them
happened?
One of them we obviously were going into it. We can't release this.
Yeah. But the one that we had to scrap, we
that was rough.
got a sponsorship offer at one point, and
holy,
we just kind of made fun of that basically throughout the entire episode.
Oh my god!
About how it was a scam, and it just
it
went off the rails.
Deranged, and then we started calling out people in our program. And
yeah,
holy shit!
It was bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you guys ever want a place, a safe space to do that kind of stuff, just let me know.
It was a rough episode
because we love to post that online.
You love that kind of drama.
Yeah, we're gonna become a drama. I said we're throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. Drama might be the next thing.
We want to talk drama. Fuck Mudhole. Don't subscribe to Mudhole. Mudhole shit.
Okay. All right.
They said not to subscribe to us, so
they did say that.
Not subscribe to Mudhole.
Their podcast.
They are awful people. You don't want to know what the actual Mudhole is.
I'm glad we're writing that out. I'm gonna take note of that and just put that in my episodes as well.
Once we stop recording, we should tell you what the Mudhole, where that comes from.
Yeah. Fucking
okay.
Any final thoughts? Anybody? Any movie recommendations?
Yeah. Would you like to give a little film recommendation? A little Critterpit tradition?
Me.
Yes.
Should it be related to this film?
It can be about anything. Like something you watch
whatever strikes your fancy.
Like, just generally.
Sure.
Oh my god, Graham.
Oh my god.
He heard.
Here.
What's going on? Hey, yo, what's up, man?
I finally get to meet
we're podcasting with David.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Graham. How's it going?
Going pretty good.
I heard you have a podcast.
Yeah, the Mudhole. Shout out.
Nice. Ethan was talking about Ethan. You want to tell him what you were saying?
I was just saying, I love that you guys are doing that.
I love where the name comes from.
Yeah, I love where the name comes from. I just love seeing self-expression. It's very religious for me. It's quite cool.
It's also religious for me because I feel like a god. You're following me. In my podcasting footsteps.
You're kind of like Christ, you know?
Yeah. You're the Christ to our God. And pork and bones of the Holy Spirit.
Okay. Exactly. I like that. Sure. I was going to say you were Christ and we were just like the disciples. Like the 8 followers or whatever. That could be good
as well.
Either one.
Just so many perfect analogies for podcasts.
Is Critterpit going to get crucified at some point?
I don't know. Just come on my pod and we'll do that episode about all the Red Deer drama and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Perfect. It'll be a great little arc.
Tarkovsky
will make a movie about it.
Yeah. We're just wrapping up, Graham.
About to give a movie recommendation.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess a movie recommendation would be I watched this good movie called Mate One recently. It's kind of a bit underground. It's made by a guy named John Sayles who was doing independent movies in the 70s and 80s. And anyways, this movie is 1987. Really good movie. Criterion re-released it recently, and it basically is a story about a mining town called Matewan. And
how do you spell that, sir?
Matewan. And yeah, just them resisting the coal mining company and whether or not they should do like a peaceful or a violent kind of resistance. And I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it's a little bit cliche in some of it, but I found it pretty stirring and inspirational. So I really liked it. That'd be my recommendation.
A great cast.
It has a great cast.
Chris
Cooper's movie. It's his debut. Yeah.
Oh, Shout the fuck
I mean,
out.
he was in like some really small in film before that or something, like maybe a student film. I don't know, but yeah, this is like his first big screen movie.
And then he went on to be in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's crazy.
And he's the closeted curmudgeon-y old guy in American Beauty as well. So
yes,
and he's in Cars.
And
Adaptation.
Would you guys say the movie has a great gash?
Graham, you gotta chill with that, Graham, chill with that, please.
I can't wait to check out Mudhole.
How was the rest of that night, Graham?
It was sad because you and Caleb weren't there.
I'm sorry.
We just spent the rest of the night crying and hugging each other.
Well, that's good.
As you do. Yeah.
That is
no.
On that sad note, I think we're gonna end it.
No, I'm gonna start crying. No. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Always.
It's not stopping.